All right, let's go ahead and put this thing to the floor. Welcome back once again to another exciting episode on the Truckmaster channel. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. In today's video, we are going to install the high flow bundle kit from HSP Diesel for a L5P Duramax. Now this application will be for a 2017 to a 2019 GMC or Silverado. Thing I'd like to mention, we are not actually deleting the emissions off of this 6.6 liter Duramax. We are actually just installing high flow parts on it to make it breathe a lot better. As crazy as this sounds, I'm not deleting this thing because I have such a large YouTube following, and I guess it's against the law through the EPA, and I just don't want to get caught up. So I'd say the biggest goal with this build right here is to install performance parts without degrading the EGR cooler, the EGR valve, as well as the DPF, the stupid diesel exhaust fluid save the planet juice. I installed PPE manifolds as well as high flow up pipes, and then of course this big old down pipe back here. And to my surprise, after installing the high flow manifolds, the high flow down pipe as well as the up pipes, the EGTs were decreased under several hundred degrees. So it was a huge shocker to me. I didn't think it was going to be that crazy of a number, but it was definitely worth the money. Make sure you stay tuned till the end. This shouldn't be too hard of a process. I'm going to kind of walk you guys through it, show you how to do it. I'll do a full how-to video on my other YouTube channel, Truckmaster Diesel Garage. Make sure you check that out. I'm going to go ahead and blow through this install really quick. I'm going to install this stuff and then take it on a road test and then get my first reaction. If you guys don't know, there's a coupon code in the description below. It's Truckmaster. It's going to save you guys 5% on anything HSP Diesel on their website. And one more thing before I get started. Saturday midnight is the last chance that you guys can get to enter in to win the Sumo Series SP Tools 73-inch toolbox. If you guys are interested, definitely pick up a t-shirt, key tag, decals, We the People stuff, whatever, and get yourself entered in to win. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm super pumped. Let's do this. Just really quick, I wanted to highlight something since I have the hot side removed. This right here is a resonator. It's there to dampen a little bit of the noise. And then that right there is a boot that could possibly fail in the future. Also, I wanted to highlight something. This clamp right here is set. There's no way that you can loosen or tighten that. And when we go to install the HSP boot to the intercooler, we have an option now to tighten it. The biggest reason is one direct shot versus all these crazy bends. There's like 4 bends in this pipe right here. So let's go ahead and get this thing installed. The thing I always like to do before I put any boots on is use glass cleaner. You can use Windex or just any standard glass cleaner. But just spray the insides of these boots right here. It's not gonna hurt nothing. It's just gonna help when you're sliding these pipes on. And we're gonna leave that clamp loose for now. And we'll go ahead and put the other clamp on. When I put my clamps on, it gives me a good idea of where I wanna loosen or tighten this clamp right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of leave it like that. When I tighten it, that way I can get better access to it. But you see how easy it is to slide this stuff on. All right, we are set, guys. Check it out. Purdy. All right, let's go ahead and remove this intake. So we're in the passenger side inner fender, and this is your cold side intake tube. And what you're gonna do is you're basically gonna go ahead and get a screwdriver, flat blade, get up underneath there. And you'll hear a click. You're gonna pull back on that little tab right there, right in the center. Just slide your screwdriver through there, pop it back. You should be able to pull this out, but this is kind of a pain if you don't do it just right, because it may retract as you're pulling it back. So let's see what happens. Oh, yeah, it retracted. There we go. Usually that snap ring is a bear to get to, but we did it. Got this collar right here. You're gonna want to twist it counterclockwise with a screwdriver, which I already did. Basically just find one of those little nubs and then work your way down. All right, go ahead and get this set. Tighten this up right here. And this is going to connect to the lower part of your intercooler. Go ahead and take your snap ring that you're going to be reusing and go ahead and work it around here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and just snap it in now, because really all you got to do is just plug it in and it'll clip right in. Once you've removed your lip seal from the cold intake tube, but as you can see, that lip seal is installed and that groove's faced inward of the tube. You should hear a little click and you're set in. You will not be able to remove that once it's clipped in. Next, you're going to go ahead and remove your mass airflow sensor. So now that I have all this installed, before I do anything, I was thinking about it. This is blue. This pipe right here is red, and the white is buried. I really should have thought about that more. However, I powder coat stuff here in the garage. So I took this heat shield, which would go right here, and we're actually going to go ahead and powder coat that white. So I already cleaned it up. I'm going to go ahead and lay some powder down, and we'll go ahead and put it in the oven. But before we do anything, I'm preheating the oven to 400 degrees. What I'd like to do is bake my part now just to get all the contaminants off of it. Make sure it's super hot, pull it out, let it cool down. And then after that, we'll go ahead and lay some white down on it. I think it's gonna look really good. All right, got my mass airflow sensor on. Let's go ahead and plug this right in. All right, so I have the oven preheating again. We have the powder laid on the heat shield. This is gonna look really nice, but this is the before. This is what it looks like with the powder on it. And then after, it should be a nice glossy white. We'll let that bake for about 20 minutes and we'll go ahead and pull it. All right guys, so we are done. We're gonna go ahead and pull this out of the oven right now. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Let's go ahead and get it out. So I did this on my LMM, and it's only fitting that we do it on this Duramax. I'm gonna try it out, and it looks really cool. One of my American Essential Truck decals. If you guys are interested, pick one up on my website. I love these decals, they're pretty cool. Essential Truck decals. If you guys are interested, pick one up on my website. I love these decals, they're pretty cool. I gotta say, it looks spectacular. Let's go ahead and fire it up, and let's go ahead and take it down the road and see what she'll do. Watch till the end of the video, because if you missed it, we did a dyno before and after on another L5P of the same year. So let's go ahead and get outside. I'm so excited. Let's do this. Go ahead and give it some throttle. Hopefully all the clamps are tight. That would suck if we blew an intercooler boot right now. All right, all the way to the floor. Whoa. Oh, dude, that picked up good. Whew. Man. I can hear a little something. There's a little bit more growl to it. It's hard to explain it. I'm hearing stuff like pedal monster, pulsar, Banks tuning, all kinds of good stuff. We need to figure out which one we want to go with. Let's go ahead and put this thing to the floor. I don't even want to tell you where I was at. That was fast. Not trying to make a race truck or anything, but this thing pulls great. I'm extremely impressed with the performance with all this extra stuff going on here. The acceleration is so much better. Man, this truck moves. I'd say the biggest thing that sucks about this whole deal here is that I'm not deleting it. With all this extra stuff going on, if I just removed all that crap, dude, this truck would sound phenomenal. It would pull so much better, and this engine would just last a lot longer. One thing I completely forgot to do was get the before and after on the air intake temperature. I should have done that, my bad. So I'm headed home right now. This is addicting. I don't want to break this thing. I've been giving this thing a few open throttles and knowing my luck, you know. So, all right, let's go ahead and take this home. Okay, so now that we're home after taking it on that test drive, I gotta say, guys, she is a ripper. So much better than it was stock. But it's still stock, you know. I mean, we still gotta do tuning. And one thing that I've learned after driving it, no, we did not increase boost on the edge monitor. But a couple things that I can take away from this whole experience after the road test is it runs better, it's faster, and you can actually sort of hear a little bit of an intake noise. There's a little bit more of a throatiness to it when you actually get on it wide open. And now that we have all this high flow stuff on there, I really think that we need a tune desperately. So, you know, that's something that I'll be looking into. By the way, if you have a truck like this, leave in the comments below if you already have tuning. Let me know what you're using. And I'm talking about the Derringer, the Pulsar, and a few other stuff out there. Of course, it's got to be emissions compliant. Now, I'm going to be upfront with you guys. The reason why I've been using HSP stuff versus all the other competitors out there, I've been using a lot of other types of brands, but it's very simple in my mind because I've installed these parts dozens of times. I've never had a single fitment issue with them. They've always fit perfectly. I've used other brands and man, they fit horrible. I feel like I'm wasting my money when I'm purchasing stuff like this and it just doesn't fit right. It's just annoying. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm just gonna stick with what I know. It makes sense, right? And again, watch till the very end because I'm gonna throw in that clip with the dyno proven numbers. I think it's gonna be worth your time. And then just a quick reminder, the Dream SP Tools giveaway toolbox ends this Saturday. So pick up something, guys, get entered in to win it. I can't wait to wrap this up and pick a winner. So we're gonna go ahead and do a few more pulls and we'll get back with you. Highlight something really quick. Max power at this point right here is 477, which is incredible. 993 foot-pounds of torque. So we'll go ahead and gather our average and we'll get back with you. Now, after running on the dyno for several runs, we were able to obtain an average. So where are we at on the map here, Ryan?
So with our bundle kit, which is our hot side, cold side, and our cold air intake, horsepower numbers weren't up a whole lot from where we were with just the intake. We did see 41 horsepower increase over stock with this bundle, but the most impressive number to me is that's the torque. 116 foot-pounds, and that's what makes these trucks very usable. It's going to make it drive better. It's going to make it feel better. That's really where you get this seat of your pants feel.
Yeah, a lot of times that peak horsepower number doesn't mean it's an important number, but it doesn't mean it doesn't tell you the whole story, so to speak. I mean, if you look at the percentage of when you drive your truck at 2,500 RPMs versus 4,500 RPMs, I mean, you're at a small, very, very small window of a percentage of when you're at that 4,500 RPMs, and if we can achieve an extra 100 foot-pounds of torque at that 2,000, 2,500 RPM range, I mean, that's where when you're pulling your boat, your motocross trailer, your snowmobiles, you're really going to notice a difference in every aspect of the curve.
And we talked about even MPG gains possible, as well as like you said, pulling trailers going uphill. Uphill is always important, especially for some of you guys who live in the hills.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, your right foot is what a lot of times dictates the miles per gallon, but this at least gives you a lot better chance of actually achieving better mileage per gallon versus just what the stock was. So.
Absolutely.
And I was able to put some miles on this truck, and the biggest thing that I noticed is it honestly feels like driving a tuned truck. The dead pedal is completely gone, and it just drives so much nicer than the stock.
Yeah, that and it's the cold air intake actually functions with the cowl induction hood.
Yes, exactly.
That's one thing that is important. I mean, the factory puts it in there for a reason. They know how important that cold charge of air is to these trucks and the turbos. So it's an all-around awesome package.
And I absolutely love how GM designed that hood in order to induce the air from the hood. I think that's neat. But to be able to capitalize on your guys' functionality of the HSP cold air intake, I think is second to none. So
It just looks cool.
It looks very cool, and then we're backing it up with dyno numbers.
Right.
So, pretty historic stuff going on over here, guys. And again, I do appreciate you guys stopping by at the channel as always. If you guys are interested in purchasing anything on the HSPDiesel.com website, make sure you guys use my coupon code TruckMaster. It's going to save you 5%. Other than that, do appreciate your time as always. We'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.